As I look out the window into the Madrid, nah, it's not sunshine deck. It's not sunshine. It's just not happening out there. I'm devastated.
Oh, there's a storm coming apparently.
Honestly,
it's beautiful in London. It's beautiful.
I swear to God, Ray, I left Glasgow thinking a couple of days of sunshine.
He's got suntan lotion on him and all sorts.
We've packing the Amber Solaire for me with my big hat and everything. My Speedos, Ray, the Speedos looked at me, we've have the whole shebang, and they're staying in the suitcase. Now, Laura, believe it or not, was meant to only be here for the one segment or one section, but I've handcuffed her to the bottom of the chair there, and she's not getting away. I made the executive decision to keep our presenter and great friend Laura Weeds if I get prediction for tonight, and also to give her a responding rallying cry even to those guys.
Those sports bar boys.
What are those naughty sports bar boys?
I saw Jason the other day. I saw him. Where did I see him? I think it was at Wembley. I saw him at Wembley, and he literally went, "Do you recognise me?" And I was like, "No, not without the mask. I don't recognise his normal face anymore." Prediction for tonight: 0-0, probably. I think it's going to be tight.
Would you take 0-0?
I'd be disappointed with it, but yeah, I would. So they can bring it back to the Emirates and then hopefully do something with it. But for my nerves, no, I don't want to just take 0-0 or 1-1 even. It depends the way the game goes. Like if they're going for it and they're really trying and it's a great game and you kind of think, oh well, we managed to get away with 1-1 there or whatever, then maybe I feel a little bit different. But no, I don't want to leave it to chance necessarily. Yeah. But that's just me from a fan's perspective, I think, Ray.
Laura, Ali will be on commentary. Can't wait for that, Ali. Looking forward to hearing that. But who you got with you tonight, Laura?
Pitch side. Martin Keown.
Oh, tell Martin. Make sure you let Martin hear what Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara have said about him. And he'll have a little black book, Martin, and he'll put a little cross there. So Jamie, just keep looking over his shoulder from now on. Jamie O'Hara's got to look over his shoulder. I'm telling you, with Martin after him.
Martin, who in the last game when we talked about this, we did the last Arsenal game when they made it through to the semis, and he said, you know what, we've got to get better at the dark arts. And I kind of agree with him because Simeone's going to obviously be
he's a master.
Yeah, so and he was kind of like, we need to be better at that because we can't be outdone by it. So he wants them to be a little bit more nasty and just
Martin
a bit more clever.
Certainly like that. Martin was definitely like that. I promise you.
I don't know if Martin's was the dark arts. He was so overt about it. I don't know if you can kind of be. There was no sneakiness about two-footed tackles or anything like that.
Martin's arts were pitch black, but they were in front of your face. To be fair, so it's a kind of contradiction in terms. As pitch black as they were blatantly seen by everybody around the country.
Exactly. Stephen Gerrard's going to be there with us tonight as well, isn't he?
He's coming this morning.
Steve McManaman as well. So look, we'll all be out there. We're literally all here now, just getting ready for the game and preparing and figuring out if it's gonna be a storm or not pitch side. But I can't wait, Ray. I am excited about it.
I just can't wait for you to see Ali in his Speedos around the pool.
Do you know what? When he said that...
she'll need to get in the queue. There's a queue forming now as we speak. Right.
It's around the block, isn't it?
Words get out, mate.
The sun's coming out, Ali. I can see the sun coming out.
There's a boy now. The queue starts in the outskirts of Madrid, mate. There's a boy selling tickets.
I just had a text from my mum saying my mum's joining the queue.
Oh, Ali.
Marvellous. She's got me embarrassed again. Look at my face. It takes a lot for me to go red, but she's won. She has won. We're going to let her go after that outrageous comment. We're going to let Laura go, because I think it's only 5 minutes to it's the end of the pancakes at breakfast.
I know. I'm going to go get you some, I promise.
Great to see you, Laura.
Great to see you.
Enjoy the game tonight. Take care.
See you, Ray.
Thanks a lot. Now, you love this, Ray. Don't forget the game obviously is live on talkSPORT as well. With that incredible game last night, we've got a message from European football expert, right? And they write Doogie, it's Doogie Critchley, right? Yeah. And they put Doogie so as if a Scotsman wouldn't know how to say Doogie, right? Not Douglas, not Doug, it is Doogie. And he's got his thoughts on the top-class quality that was on show last night.
I think last night's epic clash between PSG and Bayern illuminated a few things to me. I think between both sides there are probably 10 players that could be considered the best in the world in their position. And the freedom that they played with, the willingness to win the game rather than avoid losing it, was absolutely crucial to the narrative of this game. I think it also indicates that in the Premier League this year, Probably not a surprise, given we've lost De Bruyne, Salah's had a poor season, Wirtz has been adapting to the league, Isak's got injured, players like Palmer, Saka, Odegaard have been far from their best. It doesn't feel like we've got the individual quality compared to the rest of Europe right now. I also think there's an element that whilst players like Rice, Caicedo, Saka, Palmer, a number of players I've just mentioned, are amongst the best in the world in this position, we do have a tendency in the Premier League to overrate the players that we watch on a weekly basis, particularly if they're English.
That's an interesting view.
The only thing I say about Ali is that we all know that you can't rest players in the Premier League, can you? You can't give people rests, and you can't. I should imagine Bayern Munich and PSG are a lot more fresher because they can take a full to rest players in certain games, and they win it pretty comfortably. And I don't think you can do that in England. You can't. As much as I looked at that game last night, and the quality was outstanding. And they are probably two of the best, well, if not the best teams in Europe. But you can also argue that the Man Cities and Arsenals and Liverpools, whoever's in the Champions League, Man United, they've got to play a strong team every single week. They can't afford, if you're going for the title, you can't afford to rest 2 or 3 key players every week, which they can probably do, and which makes them more fresher. That's all I can say, really. I mean, is PSG... They've run away with the league most years. I know Bayern Munich they run away with it a lot of the time. I know sometimes they do not win it.
No, you're right.
Dortmund won it, but they can risk key players at certain times, especially coming to the latter stages of the tournament.
Spot on. 100% spot on. The opportunity for example, those 2 great teams that we saw last night, Bayern Munich and PSG, the opportunity for them to rest players is far greater than it is for the top teams in England. I mean, the perfect example, Ray, even an FA Cup semi-final between a team from the division below the top flight against Manchester City, there was no guarantees, mate. There was and I know he arrested a good few players, but definitely I think the gap between the certainly the bottom of the top flight and top of the Championship and the top flight in England is closer than it is in if not all, certainly most of the leagues elsewhere, mate. So I think you make a valid point. Now, next up, the Championship promotion race really is going down to the wire. It is fantastic. What a weekend we've got coming up. But coming up next, we're going to get the thoughts of a legendary EFL manager, Neil Warnock. Neil will be with us next.